We're going to do real world problems. So again, I'm not going to read this to you, but some strategies, some steps for you to follow are on this slide. So you can read those, and then I'll scroll. If I can make it work, I'll scroll. And you can see, can you see all of them? Hold on. There you go. There's your steps. So read through those, write them down if you need to. All right, so our first example. This is not part of the problem, by the way. These are just tips on when you read the word exceed, identify the smaller quantity and add it to represent the large quantity. For example, Tim's height exceeds Tom's by k inches, means that you would do Tom is the shorter person. So if Tom is k, then Tim's height would be k plus some more. All right, so according to the Department of Education, there's a gap between teaching salaries for men and women at private colleges and universities. The average salary for men exceeds the average salary for women by this much. Combined, they make this much. All right, so they're wanting us to do this with a single equation, not a system, which is the problem that most people have because you've learned systems of equations at this point in your life. So we need one variable. So we are looking for men and women. So what we need to know is that if we say that the men exceed the women by this much, that means that the difference between the two is this. So if I say this is women, then men would be that plus this. And then if they add up together, you would be this. All right, so again, what I just said, if we call women X, then men exceed that. So they're the women plus this much. And then together, the women plus the men equals this. So now we have a simple little equation. So we have 2x plus 14,037 is equal to 130,015. That's a comma, not a decimal. Sorry, that was loud. So if I subtract the 14,037, then I get 115,978, and if I divide that by 2, I get 57,989. So this is what women make. And so remember that they asked for women and men. So men exceed that by this 14. So add that 14,037 back to that. And we find that men make $72,026. All right. So this is another example, just like the one we just did. On average, business majors earn $8,000 more than psychology majors. Combined, their median starting salaries are $78,000. Determine the median starting salary. So pause, try this one, and then see how you did. All right, business majors earn $8,000 more than psychology majors. So if we do psychology majors plus business majors, but we know that they are psychology plus 8,000, then we're going to equal 78,000. So I'm going to go ahead and move the 8,000 over. So that's just 70,000. So psychology majors make 35,000, which means that those business majors make 8,000 more than that. So 43,000. All right, the next kind of problem is like a break-even kind of thing. You're choosing between two long-distance telephone plans. Plan A has a monthly fee of $15 with a charge of 8 cents a minute. Plan B charges $3.12 a minute, and they want to know how many minutes of long-distance calls will the two plans be the same. So you're going to do Plan A equal Plan B. So Plan A charges you $15 and then 8 cents a minute. And then plan B is $3, but they're going to charge you 12 cents a minute. All right, so let's see, I'll move my M's over here. So that's 0.04 when I subtract the 0.08. And then this is 12. So 12 divided by 0.04 is 300. So they charge you the same at 300 minutes. All right, again, this one's the same. So pause and try it. So plan A, plan B, so subtract the 5, subtract the 5 cents from the 10 cents, divide 15 by 5 cents, and again, you get 300. Okay, so this is probably the hardest one. No, I think it's the next one that's the hardest one, sorry. After a 30% price reduction, you purchased a new computer for $840. What was the computer's price before the reduction? All right, so you saved 30%. Okay, so the cost of the computer minus 30% of the cost of the computer is equal to $840. You have a couple of ways of doing that. You can say the price of the computer minus 30% of the price is $840. Or you can stop and think that if I'm saving 30%, I'm paying 70%, which is what you would get when you subtracted these anyway. So you could skip this step by thinking about it logically, or you could write this step out and you would get there anyway. So then we divide 840 by 0.7 and we get 1200. So the computer was $1,200 before it was on sale. All right, this one's just like the last one. Pause, work, see how you did. All right, your local electronics store is having a sale. After a 40% price reduction, you purchased a digital camera for $276. What was the price before? So the price minus 40% is $276. So that means you're paying 60%. So what was it before that? It was $460. Okay, these are the ones that are the hardest for people to understand. All right, you get $5,000. But there's a stipulation that for the first year, you have to invest in two funds, one that pays 9%, one that pays 11%. How much money did you invest at each rate if the total interest earned was $487? Okay, so sorry, like I started to say something, then I knew it was wrong, and then I was trying to figure out what the heck I was thinking. Back on track. All right, we know we're trying to get to $487. You have two amounts of money. Well, if we say that one amount of money is X, so if I say I made 9% of X dollars plus 11% of the rest of my money. So this is part of my money. The rest of my money would be 5,000 minus whatever X is. So again, if X is part of my money, 5,000 minus X is the rest of my money. So 9% of this, 11% of this, added up to $487. All right, so whatever you get when you solve for X is going to be how much you made at 9%. And then when you figure out the other amount, that'll be what you made at 11. All right, so we're going to do 11% of 5,000. So what the heck is happening to my calculator? All right, 550, which I probably should have done without a calculator, but oh well. Okay. So combine your like terms. So 487 minus 550 gives us negative 63. Divide by 0.02 or negative 0.02 is 3150. All right, so you did this much at the 9%. And then you did 5,000 minus that, which is 1850 at the 11%. Okay, so this one is similar. Your grandmother needs your help. She has $50,000. Part of this money is to be invested in non-insured bonds that pay 15%, and the rest is to be invested in a government-insured CD that pays 7%. She told you that she requires $6,000 a year in extra income. So she's wanting to add up to $6,000. She is doing 15% of part of her money, and she's going to add to that 7% of the rest of her money to get to that 6,000. So when we distribute, 0.07 times 50,000 is 3,500. Was that going to be 0.08 when I subtract my x's, and then subtract 3,500 from 6,000, and you get 2,500. Divide that by 0.08, and you get 31,250. All right, so x is beside this 0.15, so that is at the 15%. So when you subtract 31,250 from 50,000, you get 81,250. No, you don't. Oh, I had a negative in my calculator and it added them together. My fault. You get 18,750 for the other one. Okay, so the length of a rectangular basketball court is 44 feet more than the width. If the perimeter is 288, what are the dimensions? All right, so first of all, length is 44 more than width, so we know this is true. Okay, so when we do the whole perimeter formula, it's 2L plus 2W is equal to 288. Well, we know that we can replace our L with W plus 44. I just replaced the wrong one. I realized that. Start over. Replace the L with W plus 44. And then solve. So 2W plus 88 plus another 2W is 288. So 4W, go ahead and subtract the 88, 200. So W is 50. So we know the width is 50, which means the length has to be 94, because you just add 44 to that. Did they give us units? Yeah, they said feet. Okay, so the other thing that we have to be able to do in this lesson is solve something like this, a literal equation. So we want to be able to get a variable by itself. So they want us to get W. So we want this guy to be all by himself. So we're going to subtract 2L from both sides. So we have 2w is equal to p minus 2l. And then divide by 2. So w would be p minus 2l all over 2. And then that would be your answer. So you're just rearranging your formula. All right, so here's another one. We want c by itself. So in this case, I'm going to have to factor out the c because there's 2 of them. So if I factor that out, I have 1 plus m. So now to get c by itself, I just divide by that parenthesis 1 plus m. So c is equal to p over 1 plus m.